Previously, Fate's mask breaks, revealing his face to Roxy. Roxy is surprised, and Fate urges her to retreat because the divine dragon is about to make its move. Fate admits to lying and thanks Roxy before leaving to confront the divine dragon. Greed suggests that Fate, in his current form, can use a powerful attack. Fate uses the attack called Grand Cross, paralyzing the divine dragon. Northern attacks Fate, impressed by the unique attack. They engage in a fierce battle, and Northern reveals two reasons for Fate's struggle. He forced his way into the domain of evil, and maintaining the arts to paralyze the divine dragon is draining his powers. Greed advises Fate to close the distance and not let Northern escape. Northern observes that Fate is attacking hastily and realizes Fate can't move far from the divine dragon, or his arts will stop working. Northern cuts off Fate's left arm, claiming victory. However, Fate surprises him by revealing that the Fate he attacked was just an illusion. Fate stabs Northern from behind, absorbing his stats. Fate finds himself in a white place, meeting Haniel's core, Luna. Luna thanks Fate for killing her, and apologizes for not being able to hold on much longer. Fate discovers that Luna is the reason Gluttony hasn't gone berserk. This turn of events showcases Fate's strategic use of illusions and sacrifices for victory. The story explores the consequences of entering forbidden domains and the toll of maintaining powerful arts. Luna's gratitude for her demise adds a layer of complexity to the narrative, emphasizing the interconnectedness of the characters and their roles in preventing chaos. Luna tells Fate that she can't support him anymore and warns that he'll lose himself if he devours the divine dragon. Fate falls towards other monsters, but Greed, now in a human form, saves him. Greed explains they're running out of time. Fate thanks Luna and decides he can't let the divine dragon roam free. Luna understands, and Fate returns to the real world. He asks Greed if he used to be human, and Greed clarifies that the earlier form was temporary. The divine dragon breaks free from the paralyzing arm, and Fate tells Greed they must finish the battle quickly. With only one arm, Greed wonders how to attack. Fate throws Greed at the divine dragon and uses a ruinous strike, retrieving Greed. Fate appraises the divine dragon and realizes his stats are higher. He uses Greed to cut the dragon's wings, causing it to fall. The dragon attempts a breath attack, but Fate charges in, splitting it into two parts. Greed absorbs the divine dragon's powers, and Fate starts losing control. Fearing becoming a greater threat than the divine dragon, Fate transfers all his stats to Greed, unlocking its fourth stage. This reset minimizes the damage when Fate goes berserk. Greed questions if Fate will be devoured by that skill. Mine arrives, surprised at the unexpected turn of events. Fate asks Mine to kill him because his powers are consuming him. Mine reminds Fate that she warned him about the consequences of going too far. Fate apologizes, and Mine decides to keep her promise. She attempts to kill him, but Roxy intervenes, questioning Fate's intentions. He asks Roxy not to look at him, not wanting her to see him in his current state. Roxy, however, refuses to hate Fate for his powers, emphasizing that his abilities don't define him. She urges him not to face death alone. Surprisingly, Gluttony's frenzy subsides, and Roxy suggests they go to Babylon together. Fate, thinking Roxy would hate him, realizes she accepted him despite the truth. While he initially aimed to save her, he acknowledges that, in reality, he wanted her to save him. Overwhelmed, Fate collapses, and Luna notes that he seems to have found his pillar. The scene shifts to Fate waking up in his inn room, discovering a week has passed. Eris informs him that he slept for an extended period due to overexertion. Greed is handed over to Fate, questioning if he was forgotten. Fate reassures Greed and wonders about the dirt on him. Eris explains they had to retrieve him deep in Galia, and Greed thought he might not make it back. Curious about how he ended up there, Fate learns that a monster picked up Greed because Mine forgot to bring him back. Mine justifies her forgetfulness, mentioning she was busy dealing with envy. Eris emphasizes the importance of preventing Greed from finding another vessel like Northern, who was manipulated by envy and turned into a puppet. Eris reveals that Envy, the Gunblade, is the main body itself, surprising Fate. He asks Greed if he knew about this, but Greed had no idea. Fate then questions Mine about whether she properly destroyed Envy. Mine explains that deadly sin weapons can't be destroyed, so she threw it as far as she could to the edge of Galia. Eris acknowledges Fate's accomplishment in killing the divine dragon, and explains they need his help. She reveals that the experiment to create a crown human using Roxy's death failed. Fate asks for a promise that they won't go after Roxy again, and Eris agrees. She discloses that it was originally Envy's plan and explains that with the divine dragon gone, the country has entered a new phase, needing Fate's help. She asserts that Fate has no choice in the matter, as deadly sin weapon holders can't avoid their fate. Fate admits he doesn't know much about being a deadly sin weapon holder, but expresses a desire to understand why he was born with the gluttony skill. Eris suggests they first focus on recovering Fate's arm. Fate is surprised to learn that his arm can be healed. Eris emphasizes the need to leave before Roxy returns, as it's dangerous for Fate to see her in his current state. Fate wonders why, and Eris explains that merely mentioning Roxy's name made Gluttony growl, and Fate realizes the truth. The scene shifts to Maria and Mugen engaging in a mock battle. Maria struggles against Mugen, so she tries to distract him by saying her daughter is behind him. Taking advantage of the moment, Maria launches a surprise attack. However, she notices Roxy leaving and asks Maria to take care of things in her absence. Roxy buys grapes on her way and heads to Fate's room. To her surprise, the room is empty. She finds a letter from Fate, apologizing for disappearing suddenly and not revealing the gluttony skill. He expresses gratitude and mentions that he can't see her right now but promises to return someday. Fate asks Roxy to take care of herself until then. Roxy reflects on the heavy burden Fate carried alone, admitting she had no idea. She draws courage from him and recalls their first meeting. Fate was lost, and Roxy warned him about the dangers of wandering alone at night. Fate asked her not to hit him, and Roxy was puzzled, realizing he assumed it because she was a holy knight. Apologizing for the behavior of other holy knights, Roxy brought sandwiches for Fate and insisted he go home afterward. Fate revealed he had no house or family. Roxy, touched by his situation, learned that he found the capital not so bad. Fate expressed gratitude for meeting a kind holy knight like her. Roxy asked for his name, and Fate introduced himself. Roxy cherishes that day, finding pride in being a holy knight. She believes she will meet Fate again and aims to become even stronger by then. This glimpse into their past interactions showcases Roxy's kindness and Fate's struggles, setting the stage for a hopeful reunion. The scene shifts to Raphael having tea with Memel, and they discover that Corpse's fate is tied to Raphael's research. Raphael leaves to continue his study, and Memel feels he's become too absorbed in his research lately. Raphael expresses gratitude to Fate for killing him, but it's clear that the Philosopher's Stone is starting to control him. Afterward, Fate uses 40% of his stats to activate Greed's ultimate skill, regenerating his arm. Bullies and Mine leave for the capital separately, planning to meet Fate there. Roxy also returns to the capital, while Fate continues wandering around Galia to restore his stats. Greed suggests Fate buy him a new scabbard since he's now a warrior in the domain event. However, Fate admits he doesn't have enough money for that. Greed proposes making more money by slaying monsters. This brings an end to our episode.